All right, FightHype.com. Sean Tatel here with one of the most exciting 18-year-olds in boxing. One of the most exciting 18-year-olds to come around boxing in a long time. Mayweather Promotions, Jalil Hackett, 1-0, one knockout. He got that knockout in Miami on the Logan Paul card. And Jalil, man, after you knock out Diaz in one round, what do you do after that? You know, you're 18. You can't go out and party or nothing like that. What'd you do that night to celebrate?
Man, honestly, that night, another one of my Mayweather Promotions colleagues, Dorian Khan, he fought on the card too. So honestly, that night, me and bro just enjoyed the moment. We enjoyed the moment together because he got a knockout on the card too. You know, whether it been watching the fights or running around getting in a little bit of trouble at the stadium, man, we enjoyed the moment. We definitely enjoyed the moment. We soaked it in. And we got back to our rooms and we was talking about going out, but we were just exhausted. We was exhausted, but yeah, no, we definitely enjoyed ourselves.
Man, so at 18, you got all the energy in the world, but what was it? The atmosphere drained you? What was it? Why were you so tired by the end of the day? Like
after the fights, we changed up and we was like, man, we're gonna watch a little bit of the fights, but after the fights, we're gonna go have fun. But between all the running around and doing interviews and, like I said, getting into a little bit of trouble here and there, we looked up and man, we got back to them rooms. I told him I hit him after I got out the shower, and I ain't never called him. He was like, man, I'm glad you ain't called because I was asleep too. So,
did you guys get a chance to get in your seats for the main event?
Yeah.
Night?
Yeah. We actually watched the main event from the Mayweather Promotions office. You know, all of us, like a lot of the Mayweather team was in there and we watched it from the office. And we called like the last round from our seats, but for the most part we watched the fight from the office.
Now, speaking of Floyd, man, here on my wall, you were what, 11 years old when that fight happened, and what were you telling people at your house as that fight was going down?
Yeah, no, we were actually at a fight party one of my dad's friends had, and I was telling people back then, I was young. I was 11, 12 years old, and I was telling them like, one of these days I might end up signing to Floyd, and just like this was way far-fetched, but I was like, we might end up on the same card or something. So for us to actually end up on the same card was crazy.
Yeah, and despite all the fun and the hoopla that goes with that, do you feel like, it really is important that you had your pro debut on that? So down the line, when you fight in front of 10,000 people and you got to do a bunch of interviews all week, that you're already prepared for that. You feel like that it helps you in that sense?
Yes, it definitely does. Because not a lot of people make their debut on a card that big. You got to think the card was in a stadium, not an arena, not in a casino, a whole stadium. So to go out on that big of a stage where I had about a 2.5 minute ring walk. Yeah, no, it definitely prepares you for that next level mentally.
So 50 Cent's Many Men.
Yeah.
And you came out with some trunks too in purple, like like the jersey behind you. What was that all about, Jalil?
I had a friend that was supposed to graduate with me in the class of 2020, Willie Brown. He died a couple months before our graduation. Gun violence has taken a lot of our young black men in DC and in America. But I definitely had to dedicate the whole fight to him. And his name still lives on through me every day, whether it be training or anything.
You talking about black men in America, and those have always been historically the greatest fighters in boxing history. Do you feel like, going forward in 2021, like you got that lineage on your back that you have to keep going? Because these other countries, they're gunning for the United States' head. They want to be the top country in boxing. Do you feel that at all? Like, I got to keep this going, keep it on my back.
Yeah, I feel like it's that, of course. And due to the fact that I always revert back to, the way I made my debut, you can't make a debut like that and then have a regular performance after. You gotta keep building on it. it gotta always be some sort of improvement, and you gotta wow the fans. You gotta make them want to see you fight again. So that's the biggest thing for me. You know, if I keep them interested in me, I'm doing something good.
Yeah, because sometimes, you know, we see fighters take their time and be patient early on, but you got that man out of there in a minute and a half. You know, is that what we can expect from you right now?
Yeah, no. My dad always told me, even at a young age, if somebody's not supposed to be in the ring with you, you get them out of there. You don't get paid. You don't get paid by the fight. I mean, you don't get paid by the round. You get paid by the fight. So whether the fight be 1 round or 4 rounds or 12 rounds, you're gonna get that same paycheck. So yeah, if you can get it done quick, do it.
Is it matter to you then not just to win, but to be exciting while doing it?
Yeah, that's another thing I take very seriously. It's not about if you win, it's about how you win. Because you know, a lot of times you can win but not look good. And in some cases you can win and some people even thought you lost. So yeah, how you look in the fight is always important.
Would you feel like you got a dynamic offense? Because you know, you saw the combinations, a hook to the body, hook to the head, everything in that debut. You feel like offensively, you know, you're a problem right now going forward.
Yeah, and I'm always trying to grow. That's another thing. I don't want to lock into one dimension because that first fight you just seen a guy that's gonna walk you down and finish you. I want people to know that I can walk you down, but if you think you're gonna walk at me, I can box you. I can do what I want. Like a lot of guys I like to watch is guys like Roy Jones. You know, Roy Jones's career, he could walk you down, he could box you. He can control the pace, he can control the ring the whole time. Another present day fighter, you got Jerron Boots Ennis.
Mm-hmm.
Controls the ring. He controls what's going on. If he wants to fight fast, he's going to fight fast. If he wants to fight at a slow, controlled pace, he's going to fight at that pace. You know, so all about getting better for me and controlling what's going on in the ring at all times.
Yeah, that Ennis is special, man. I know Floyd doesn't dole out too many compliments, but he did to you and he did to him. So that says a lot. But who, you know, speaking of Roy, who are your favorite old school fighters?
My favorite old school fighters to watch are Roy Jones Jr., like I said, Marvin Hagler, and another one that I tend to watch often is Pernell Whitaker. Even though we don't have like a similar fight style,
Right.
I just like watching Sweet Pea fight. It just was different.
So it sounds like you're the student of the game, student of the sport, because a lot of young fighters, they don't really go back and watch too much footage on the old school fighters, but you do, Jalil?
Yeah. Another one, a lot of people might not be too familiar with him, but for his defensive integrity, I really like watching just a few of like Willie Pep's clips. It's like, yeah, he was a defensive superstar. I think if I'm not mistaken, he was like one of the only people that ever went around without throwing a punch.
Yep. Without yeah.
Yeah, no, so yeah, I like watching him for his defense.
So, but what, you know, you said as you're watching Mayweather Maidana 2, I'm gonna sign with Floyd one day. What is it that made you pick Leonard and Floyd? Because I imagine Top Rank was there. You know, Eddie Hearn might have been there. You know, I imagine they weren't the only ones trying to get your talent to sign with them. Why did you go with Floyd and Leonard?
It was all about familiarity. No, familiarity. And yeah, no, it was more so these guys have been here. Speaking on Floyd, he's been here as the fighter and the promoter. So when we have talks about certain things, whether it be money or just me making decisions as a fighter in general, he'll be able to understand and he'll be able to guide me in the right direction. And plus Leonard and my manager, Derek Curry, they have a very tight-knit relationship. They've known each other for a long time, even before boxing. So, yeah, that played a big part in me signing to the money team as well.
Just curious how all three of them scouted you when they talked. What are some of the things Floyd's told you in terms of what he thinks you can do in this sport? And what's some of the positive things Floyd's told you about your skills? And
he's gave me a lot of compliments on my inside work. But the one I remember the most, and even though it was the slightest thing, was 2019 when Tank fought Gamboa. When we were at the weigh-in, I got up on the stage, and Floyd told me, come here. He dapped me up, and he whispered in my ear. He said, you next. And, man, that just stuck with me different. And after he whispered in my ear and told me that, Sam Watson, he said, man, are you ready for all of this? You know, I was like, yeah, of course I'm ready. And so, yeah, that really stuck with me.
Sounds like you passed the eye test to Floyd. But he did but that was based off of you sparring at 16 years old with Tank Davis, wasn't it? In part,
yes.
Coming with the assessment, yeah. Well, how in the world were those sparring sessions going? Because Tank, if he loads up, he could break you in half with one body shot, and you were only 16 years old.
I recall, I know in June, I think it was June of 2019, when it was the first time I really worked with him. And he was like, yeah, you know, y'all brought this little kid in here to work with me. Da 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 da. You know, you claim you this good. Let's see if you really are this good. So yeah, no, we worked. He definitely, you know, he pushed me to the limit. And after we had did our rounds, he said, man, this young kid is tough. And he brought me into camp time and time again after that. And I just continued to prove myself. And he was another part of him, and Coach Calvin and Coach Kenny. They were another part of me getting signed, because anytime Calvin or Kenny mentioned my name to Leonard, they always spoke very highly of me, and I thank them for that.
For you, you know, that's in part what got you signed, but for you, was that a sparring session, one of them that lets you know, I can do this, I can be world champion, I could fight on that level?
Yes, definitely. Because anybody who knows Tank, even if you just know him from TV, he don't take it easy on the soul. And our first time ever sparring, you know, back in June of 2019, I think it was in our second or third session, I got a cut under my eye. And they were like, man, you know, you gave him some good work for those first 3 days. You don't got to come back no more for this camp. You good. What I end up doing is I wound up buying a headgear with the bar, and I put like, it was like a piece of tape, but like a bandage tape on my eye where I had to cut. And the next sparring day, I was right back in there, and it was like, man, this kid got balls. He right back in here with a cut. He don't care. He working. This dude tough. And so, yeah, no, that definitely told me, like, I'm ready, because I'm willing to do whatever.
So they're like, these waters are getting pretty deep, young man. You can go home now. You're good. And you came back with a Band-Aid and jumped right back in with the shark.
Yeah, no, like I'm gonna work.
So, and then lastly, Leonard, man, what did Leonard say when he getting ready to sign you? What he thought about your talent? What was Leonard's assessment?
Leonard spoke very highly of me as a boxer, but he also spoke highly of me as a person. You know, I'm a very good person to talk to, because I'm not gonna say boxers aren't intelligent, but I don't fit the mold for most boxers. You know, I graduated high school a year early with a 3.6 GPA. I just think differently. You know, most boxers, they want to, you know, go out and buy chains and cars and impress people. You know, that's cool. Of course, I'm into that type of stuff, but my mindset is just different. I get $1 million, I'm gonna go buy some buildings or invest in a company that I feel is gonna take off. So a lot of guys, they get that money and they gotta go blow it. So yeah, no, I'm different from a lot of other fighters, and he really liked that about me.
Well, Tank's from DMV, so are you, the DMV area. If you blow up, like I know Leonard and Floyd believe you will, Leonard might just have to buy a second house down there and just stay in the boxing gym.
He got one down here.
Oh, he does? See? So there you go. There you go. He already knows. He's 3. That's why he's Leonard. He's 10 steps ahead of someone like
that. Right. my house is his house.
but before we let you get going too, Jalil, when we getting you back in the boxing ring?
Sooner than later. You know, we're waiting to lock in a date. Derek has the details on everything, but you know, you'll get me back in the ring sooner than later.
And any kind of time frame you could give us, Derek?
Oh yeah, he will be back in the ring October 8th in Las Vegas.
In Las Vegas.
Yes.
Are we gonna get him at the Sam's Town?
Yep.
Okay, so there, you know, FightHype will be there, ready to cover Jalil's second fight. Because we like to cover champions before they come champions.
Yeah, he'll be fighting in, and maybe coming back fighting again a month after that, and he will definitely be on Tank's undercard. You know, come November, December when Tank fights again.
Cool. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, and I know it's tough to get these kids that pay-per-view time when they're 3-4-0, but Jalil is the kind of kid they might want to think about letting a 3-0 kid open up the card, right, Derek?
Oh, definitely, no doubt about it. And he can have it.
I'm sure. And then just Jalil, man, before I let you out of here, have you thought any of the guys who are champs right now, have you, Josh Taylor at 140, whoever, have you already looked at them and already started to think about what you would do in there against them?
I definitely done that with guys at all the way as low as 35 at one point. I was thinking guys at 35, guys at 40, 47, and 54. I watched those guys real keenly because potentially those guys at 35 could move up to 40 and 47, and I could be in the ring with them soon. So I watch them and see their deficiencies, and I just think about how I would fight them. And as far as me looking towards anybody, it's honestly whoever has a belt. Most people call out this guy or that guy, but if you call out a guy and he loses his belt tomorrow, it almost was pointless. So my whole mindset when people ask me, who you looking at or who would you want to be in the ring with soon, it's all about who has the belts.
And where are you 5 years from now, Jalil?
5 years from now, I can honestly say I'd be working on about my third or fourth world title. Probably even more if the stars align correctly. But I definitely will be at least a 2 or 3 time world champion 5 years from now.
All right. Well, thank you, Jalil. Appreciate talking with you. Thank you, Derek, for letting Jalil take some time with us. You guys have a great day. Thanks, Jalil.
No, thank you. And y'all see me back in the ring soon. Derek already gave y'all the drop, so